What's up? What's up? I was asking myself, what is the topic for today? I kind of I start walking, I set up my camera, and then I just press record, get a moment of silence, and I get the topic. The topic today is leading through submission. What does that mean? How do you do it? Is it something you do? It's kind of the opposite of doing, actually. I want to talk about something also, which is like the context of this YouTube channel. I've renamed it a couple of times, like in the past 6 months, and I think like 2 or 3 more times before that. So obviously I've had some kind of confusion on what the YouTube channel is for, and I think that shows in my number of views. But it's not necessarily that the more views you get, like the better you're doing or something. You know, some of my teachers also have a very low number of views, and they're very high integrity people. So it's not necessarily a reflection of that, but I think in my case I'm actually pretty like tech savvy and stuff, and my teachers are not. So maybe I have higher standards for myself. But regardless, I think the orientation of this YouTube channel is changing. There's a new aroma in the air. I've just started working on a top secret project, which is kind of like my, oh my god, can I really do that kind of project, like the edgy material. Maybe that's what this channel will become all about, or wherever you're watching this. It could be on Facebook, or I also post on TikTok. Actually, I just remembered I have another video, I think, that I haven't actually posted yet, so just remembered that. So I'm going to talk about leading through submission. So I'm doing it right now. As I'm talking to you, I'm kind of demonstrating it. Is getting silent. In the Toltec, we call it silencing the internal dialogue. And there's when that happens, there's a space in the body and the mind that opens up to be able to receive. It's like a chalice, and then that chalice can receive the commands of consciousness. That chalice becomes an availability to power, or we call it the tonal, the body acquiescing to the nawal, consciousness, the soul, the truth, power. So leading through submission means whatever we are capable of submitting to, or in whatever context we're capable of submitting, there's magic there for us. And we're not capable of truly, authentically submitting in every situation. I've had to, I've had a lot of teachers in my time. I've had like 100 teachers or something. And I'm not capable of submitting to all of them anymore because I've outgrown a lot of my teachers. What the fuck is all this sound coming from? So many sound effects. I've had so many teachers, and there's there's different echelons of consciousness. There's different echelons of purity. There's different echelons of power, right? And these are all different things, right? Someone can be pure but not so powerful. They can be powerful but not so pure. So I've gone to different teachers for different reasons. You can have a really beautiful therapist who's very pure, maybe doesn't really know how to access true power. I've also had teachers where they're very powerful, but, could show up as slimy and grasping. So as I become more and more refined, I'm only capable of submitting to teachers who are even more refined than myself. So in that way, I'm leading, my life is being led through submission. It's like, what can I submit to? And I can't submit to the old things I used to be able to submit to. So I have to keep finding that. And if I follow the tension, that's how I find it. If there's a teacher that scares me and they're pure and I can sense that the fear is all mine, it's not actually, they're not actually let's say the fear is a natural fear of power, right? Which we naturally are afraid of power because we should be. Too much power will tear us apart. So we have to relate to power in a way that is sustainable and if we completely open ourselves to power, if we submit to too much power, then we can't live our lives, right? Like that's what plant medicines do, is help us submit to greater power than we otherwise can. But while you're on a plant medicine journey, you can't do much else, right? I could not do this video if I was on a really intense plant medicine journey because I wouldn't be able to form articulate sentences. Maybe I can't anyway. So we move up in gradations of how much power we're available to. Therefore, we're moving up in how much we are capable of submitting to. And when I say I am submitting, I'm referring to my body, my tonal. And that's not the real I, right? But my mentality in reference to my body is one of submission. And then my mentality in reference to my true self is one of force, because I am actually consciousness, as are you, of course. So as consciousness, we're applying ever greater force. As our body, we're in ever greater submission. And there's a big chasm between the typical like spiritual teachings, which is like surrender, because it's, you're oriented as the body. So it doesn't even make sense when someone who's oriented to the spiritual teachings hears the Toltec teachings. It doesn't even make sense to them because they're not oriented as consciousness itself. It's a really big deal. You know, as somebody becomes oriented, identified as consciousness, it's like, what feels like being created right now? It's hard to describe. It's like because consciousness is so magical. It has this capacity, it has this competency that's beyond what we physically consider as the realm of possibility. But consciousness is making the realm of possibility, so it transcends all rules. It has rules within itself, but any rules that it is not making, it transcends. The human world, the dream of the world, makes a lot of rules that appear real that are not real. And so it's our responsibility as the embodiment of consciousness to be able to transcend those rules. That's what freedom is. And those rules, man, they can feel so real. They can feel so real sometimes. Last night I got stuck in a loop in relation to relationship, in relation to romantic attachment stuff. And it sucks. It's like, ah. So you just have to know when it's happening. I found myself in that situation. I found myself being overly available, right? I was available to something which was a faulty paradigm. It happened to be because I smoked weed, and that's what happens when you smoke weed. It messes up your balance. So I became available to something I don't want to be available to. I'm not available to that outside of that kind of experience, outside of smoking weed. I'm not normally available to that. But, you know, smoking weed is helpful in that it makes your boundaries blurry, but that's also the downside. So if it's not applied with great precision, it can cause self-sabotage. In general, I'm phasing it out. Now there's just more evidence last night that it has served its purpose for me. as I become more and more alive, as I can see more, Toltec seeing with a capital S, as I can see more, as I am more capable, there is a ferocity that wants to come out, that is coming out. And you'll notice this in my lectures and, whatever my videos throughout the progression of what I have online. I intentionally, at this point right now, I keep my whole YouTube history online so that people can see that progression. I wasn't always this way. It actually requires a lot of effort, and it requires a lot of sacrifice. Literally, I have to sacrifice the willingness to compromise. I have to sacrifice a lot of relationships. I have to sacrifice, my codependency. I have to sacrifice the outcomes I'm attached to, and just keep staying on target, keep staying on the mission of what's really true. And whatever's left after that, it's none of my business, because that's, people who show up are the ones who know what I'm talking about. And, B, did I say A? Well, I meant to say A. Did I say 1? 1 and 2, A and B? I have no idea. Roman numeral 2, I. Now I don't even know what I'm talking about. I got all wrapped up in my joke so much that I think I lost what I'm saying. Go back to the silence and see what wants to emerge. I love public speaking. I want to get on more stages. I want to get on in front of people, because once they're in the chairs, they have to listen to me. They can't escape. And the tension, the incredible amount of tension I can build in a room is fascinating. I'm going to be moving to Santa Fe shortly. And I'm excited to launch my public speaking career. I almost want to say like my stand-up comedy career, but I've been told this is not comedy. Sometimes it's very funny, but sometimes it's something else. Dark, moving, deep, monstrous, strange, weird, wild, sometimes funny. Maybe this is a comedy channel now. Who knows? Are you laughing? If so, just comment laughing. I'm just kidding. Unless you really are laughing, then... Oh, did my thing die? I think my battery just died on this. Well, I'll wrap it up. Hey, thanks for listening. That was a fun one. Kind of light. Okay, bye-bye.